virtual reality.
Hannah and Marco, the winners of Love Island Season 5, Danny and I are so excited to chat with you because I feel like no one can stop talking about Love Island USA at the moment, and you two are the perfect people to break down all this chaos surrounding the show right now. First of all, how do y'all feel about the show blowing up for Season 6 the way that it has? You must be so proud of your Islanders, the ones who came after you.
Yeah, first off, I'm completely thrilled for everybody. Producers, the cast talent, everybody I am so proud of. And like I said, we are one big family from Season 1 to Season 5 or to Season 6. It's just been completely huge blow up for all of us. And Season 6 really put us on the map. And it's just been so enjoyable to ride that roller coaster through highs and lows, because not many people knew about our show or what we went through. And after this season, everybody can't stop talking about it.
Yeah, and everyone is so curious about how it works production wise. How does this stuff that there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that I think people are talking about, the format of the show. There's so many different aspects that people are digging into, which I think is really cool, because we know everything. Obviously, we were just there a year ago. Yes. So yeah,
and we were there this year.
We just got back weeks ago.
I'm kind of curious, going back to before you guys even started on the show, what was the biggest surprise that surprised you while filming about the show? Because I'm sure you went in having some expectations, but what was one of the things that you're like, oh, this is not I planned at all?
I think you had a lot. Michael's never seen the show.
Bedtime.
Oh yeah.
I go to bed at 8:45, 9 o'clock on the East Coast, religiously, every night. And when I got there, I really thought we're not going to have a bedtime, but we'll be in bed at a normal time. No, that was the farthest thing from wrong. One night we got a good night of sleep. The other night I was working till the sun went up. Yeah. And so bedtime for me was the number one, wow in my face. And it was so funny. It got to me so bad. Nobody has ever seen this. I never even said this on camera. It got to me so bad that I went to the therapist on site, and I had to get prescribed a bedtime.
Wow. A little melatonin?
Absolutely. A little melatonin in the hallway of the villa, and then up to the therapy. Yeah. And then she's like, all right, you're good to go to bed. And it was probably around, I would say, 1 a.m.
Damn. Wow. So how late do Islanders typically film those scenes outside, talking, pulling people for chats, having their, I think it's just 2 glasses of wine? How late are we up at night filming those scenes?
We've seen the sunrise. I'll tell you that. We don't know the exact time, but you're up so late, and this is when I feel like a lot of those emotional scenes happen. You are sleep deprived. You're probably hungry. You've been filming, but you wanna get it done.
But it's great TV while it's happening. TV. So,
so it's just part of it, and that's why it happens. But we've literally laid down, say, wrapped on filming. It's bedtime. 10 minutes later, we're seeing the sunrise.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow. Wait, and you're saying, you're tired, you're hungry, you're all of that. Are you able to be I need a snack, or do you get a snack? Because you have a bedtime. It's kind of reminding me kindergarten vibes in the best way. I need
Absolutely.
a snack time and a bedtime. Are you able to have snacks readily available, at craft services, or no?
Yes, but keep in mind it's Fiji. They don't have all the snacks that maybe we're used to, but yes, they have a whole catering service team. And I think because we were the trial and error season. This was their first time back in Fiji. We did, I think, Season 1.
Yeah.
So now they have, they got to learn from us what went well, what didn't, maybe order more stuff beforehand for the Islanders. So
yeah, and we started casting a month later, or we started the show a month later than Season 6. So we happened to get a lot of rainouts, a lot of rainy days, a lot of rainy nights, and through the rain break is when we would eat cookies nonstop, and that's kind of where we would snack us through break of filming.
Kind of into that,
but not a whole day break. It's just while the rain's going, we are pounding cookies.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's hysterical. I want to go back a little bit. You mentioned that you guys didn't know what time it was. We don't have access to clocks in the villa? You don't know? Time and space don't exist?
No, the closest thing 2 o'clock access that I got in there is I would tell like the talent manager, like, hey, there's a turtle over there, and then they look, and then I look at their phone, and that's the closest I got.
Yes, but then they caught on to us.
Caught on to us. So I'm like,
That is honestly, you're a genius, Marco. That's amazing. Why do you think they don't want y'all to know what time it is?
I think they want us to be as cut off from the outside world as possible. Like we would ask people, so what's going on in the world? I think a World Cup was going on during our season.
The women lost or something, right? Yeah.
Like, and they would tell us, sometimes people would slip up and tell us little things, but we were so desperate for anything outside the villa, and they don't want that. They want it to be villa, on your mind 24/7.
Island time.
Island time.
Wow. Are there any moments from it that you try to like implement in your daily life? Because you're like, okay, I went a few weeks without my phone. Maybe I don't need it by my side all the time. Or like the second you got back to reality, you're like, where's my phone? Where's my shower? Where's my like Diet Coke, you know?
Oh yeah, especially with us. We're very like, I don't know. We're very well kept. I don't know. Like I miss going to the nail salon. I miss going to the gym. Like
the barber.
We take care of ourselves very thoroughly. So all of that, I was so happy to just get back to our lives. And yeah.
And when I laid my eyes on Chick-fil-A for the first time, it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And so I can remember I actually binge ate like when I got back to the States. Hannah had to keep me away from going to Chipotle, Chick-fil-A. Like I would not stop going. I would every single day. I'm like, wow, I just missed it so much.
And it was football season, so every Sunday, we're big football watchers. Every Sunday, Panda Express. Like, we're like, what were we doing?
Wow.
Like,
you guys are my like goal relationship. Yes.
Wait,
but
Hannah,
yeah, that was some. Go ahead.
So I was just gonna say that you mentioned you like to get your nails done. Marco, you like to go to the barber shop. I'm wondering.
I get my nails done too.
And you get your nails done too.
Pedicures also.
We're taking care of ourselves, but that has me curious, kind of about how like beauty treatments, like nails, haircuts, spray tans for some people. Like, how does that all work? Do you have people there to help you with your nails and the tan and the hair and how does that work?
We did not. The girls who used like the self tanner, they're doing it in the bathroom. You want to do your nails, Marco? I brought like a bunch of press-ons, so Marco's helping me do my press-ons. Yeah,
there was a scene of that, I think.
Yeah, there was a scene of that in our season, but like we really just I felt so unkept, if I'm honest with you. And like I think that goes with it too, like the draw. You don't feel your best in there, you know? So
and for barbers, we got barbers twice while we were there, and you would have thought you're going to the chiropractor. Like these Fijian men are so strong. He's like holding by the way, it was not a bad haircut. I'm not saying it was a bad haircut. But he was like cracking my neck while digging in the clippers. I was like, yeah, no, never again.
That sounds intense. Wait, when you're saying you just like felt not yourself, this is what I'm like, because Love Island sometimes to me, it feels like a Victorian movie in the sense when I'm watching it and I'm obsessed, but I'm like, why do I feel it could smell awful? Like, because you guys, I don't, you know what I mean? Like there's no laundry. I don't think there's a ton of showers. What's the smell dealing like while you're trying to find love? Be honest.
For the laundry is tough.
Yeah.
It's once a week, and I would give my white beaters in there, and they'd come back bras. So they must have dried it like 300 times each, and just threw all our stuff together. My white shirt would come back red. It was a disaster.
There got to the point where I was cleaning my bikinis in the sink, just because again we're the trial and error season, and we'll embrace that. And when we went back this year for after Sun, they said that to us. They're like, "We're sorry." Like it was like, "It's okay." Like well,
it's all right. We had to learn.
Yeah, it worked out for us.
And I am so honest when it comes to BO, when it comes to stench, that I went and told people like Leo. He had a few times on the orange couch. I was like,
he's our best friend.
Yeah, he's my best friend, so I can say that. And like we were like, or he tells me, he was like, "Yo, like you need to go put on deodorant," because a lot of times that's the last of your worry while you're like sitting here.
Yeah.
Technically on survival mode, you know?
Yeah.
Well, speaking of smells, I'm kind of curious about the bathroom situation. What was it like when y'all were in the villa? Because I feel like we've heard so many different bathroom stories from so many different islanders for so many different seasons. What was y'all's experience like?
Marco wore shower shoes.
Smart.
He's just very clean in general. So all the time he judged me. How aren't you wearing shower shoes? But say after a challenge like that infamous food challenge, there was a little pile of all the cheese.
Yeah, or like this year's cake eating challenge, like there was clumps of cake, like in the corner of the shower. Like for us, it was clumps of food.
Yeah.
Oh, the shower situation was terrible. Again, where the trial on air, I saw on camera, they had 3, maybe 2 side-by-side showers. We had one communal shower, and then they had a secret shower that was never on film.
Yeah.
It was backed by the electricity box, and that wasn't cool either.
Yeah, and we had one in the girls' dressing room. It worked sometimes. It did it. So, and then we couldn't go in the ocean either on our season. That's like the #1 question we got asked. How come you guys weren't in the water? And it was like a liability. Could not go in the ocean. Sometimes, like at the end, we're feeling rebellious. We'd like sneak out there. They'd be on the radio. Hannah, get back to the villa. So couldn't do that either.
Well, it's
But it
interesting
didn't
you
smell
say
good.
that.
It was far from smelling good.
Yeah.
Yes, to answer your question.
So the radio, you mentioned the radio, Hannah. They'd be like, get out of the water, get out of the ocean. Where are all the radios placed? Is it like kind of like a voice of God, sort of intercepting or interrupting certain scenes or telling y'all what to do? Like, how is that your communication with producers, or are there physically
Absolutely.
producers around?
And it's such like an in middle school moment where you like, for me, I would steal chocolate milks every day. So it was such a moment for me where I would like sit in class and I just hear like Marco to the office. And that's literally like the feeling. You're shocked. You don't know what it's about. Because I got in trouble a lot in the village for, eating stuff I wasn't supposed to eat, bringing cans with labels. So every time I got a call, I was always nervous. And that's literally how it was. Picture yourself in 8th grade with your head down trying to sleep through class because, that's all I used to do. And then the principal comes on and says, Marco to the office. I'm like, oh, gosh.
And then we gave them names. So what did we call him? We called him Idris. That's not his real name. But like the girls, we'd make up like these images of the voice. And I still never met them.
No, we still have no idea who they were.
Oh, yeah, we make up names. We're like, okay, whatever, Idris. We'd be talking about something that, like, say we can't sing songs, for example, copyright purposes. So we'd be singing a song. Idris goes, okay, girl, stop singing. We're like, okay, whatever, Idris. Like, we had fun with it.
Wow.
Wait, did you ever do something? Because I know this happens on some reality shows where, like, if you don't want something filmed, you're like, can someone hum in the back? Can someone hum Taylor Swift because they can't afford that? Well, we can have.
Yeah, so definitely, I was a pro at that. I mean, matter of fact, I walked around naked every time I could. When it was just guys, like most time in the bedroom, I'd be naked, so they couldn't record me.
Yeah.
So.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a weird tactic, but it worked.
Hey, a hack is a hack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had to get.
That's what I would do.
So you would hear the producers over the loudspeakers, but did you ever, like, do Islanders ever have, like, physical contact and communication with producers? Like, do they ever enter the villa?
Yes. So there's about 5 there all the time. They have different shifts. So morning producers and then evening. They go to sleep with us.
It literally gives camp. Like, have you ever been
Like
to camp
camp
growing up?
counselor?
A camp counselor? That's what it
Yeah.
is.
So they're
Thank
there all the time, like if you do need something, but they try their best to stay out of the mix. For example, our cell phones. I thought it was so funny when Kaylor got a text about the video from Casa More this year. They take our cell phones and they'll delete stuff that's on there. I got a video on my season and I wanted to show Marco. I wanted to show him the video. While we're sleeping, they take the phones and delete stuff that could ruin the storyline in a way. So yeah.
Wow. Was there ever a moment where you were like, hey, why'd you delete that? I wanted to play it for Marco. He's got to see that. Did you ever confront them like, hey, do you mind just adding that back to the drive?
Yeah, they honestly become like friends and family, and they're young. Like it's easy to talk.
And I was
to them
taking
about things.
pictures of everything,
Yeah.
I had news on there. They were gone the next day. I'm like, what the heck?
You're like,
Not
I'm
Hannah,
tan, I'm
myself.
loving life.
I had Hannah taking of me.
Yeah, in the shower one time, he was taking pictures. But yeah, so
You start losing your mind. You just that's literally what it is.
they got to know us real well.
Oh, yeah.
So the phone, you can obviously you can receive a text. I got a text. You can take photos with your friends and in the villa. What else can those phones do?
That's it.
That's
it. And take pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. No games.
Wow. And
No
so
nothing.
you have it on you pretty much at all times in case you get a text from producers. Is there ever a moment like when you're bored, are you just scrolling through the selfies you took?
Yes.
All the time, and I'm trying to edit them. And then they took my editing privileges away.
What?
So you were at least able to edit it and turn up the sharpness or change it to black and white.
Yeah.
Then after 2 weeks, I wasn't able to do that either. I'm like, oh.
Right. We know they're gonna be on social media, stuff like that. So
Wait, speaking
and
of
then we
social
play a
media, Speaking of social media,
Yeah.
I am very curious about how that works while you guys are in the villa. So obviously you hire like a friend or a family member to take care of it, and you just let go and let God and trust that they can do you right. Is that, I mean, how does that work? Like, how do you plan for that in advance?
Yeah, that's really it. I had my little sister. She did it for me. They're twins, so both of them tag teamed it. And then Marco had a friend of
Yeah, I
his.
had a photographer, Logan.
Yeah.
I told him, hey, I'm giving you my Instagram. Make the most of it. Help me out. If I'm not getting good stuff, delete the Instagram.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's good to have the safety net for that. But I feel like you guys, because everybody loves y'all, like I feel like social media was like a great thing for the two of you. Are you still kind of loving, and are you loving the social media vibe? And now with so many more eyes on Love Island, do you feel it's almost changing in these past few months too?
Yes, it's almost like these fans are diehard. They want to know everything about our lives and these Islanders' lives. So it's like we have to be careful in a sense too. And I've seen that too with these Islanders. It's like, okay, some things you want private. You know, I heard like people's addresses are getting leaked and stuff like that, and then that becomes unsafe. So it's like we had to rethink the content we're putting out too. Okay, let's make sure an address isn't in the, you know, in the picture. So we have had to think about that just because it's grown so much. Yeah, because now our season's getting watched more too.
Yeah.
They're going back and watching previous seasons. So yeah, it's just a new approach. Yeah, it's my opinion.
What is the experience like though when you leave the villa and you see all those followers, all those DMs, all those text messages from friends, family, and otherwise? Like, does your phone break? I just can't imagine my phone not like lighting on fire if that was me.
Mine actually did.
Yeah, his
Mine's froze.
Yeah.
And I was like, I wasn't even that concerned about it because again, we're still in the Fiji hotel before on the way to the airport. And yeah, it broke. It shut off and then it didn't turn back on for 10 minutes and it turned back on and it worked. So yeah, it was weird. It was so weird. It's like you refresh and then you see more. You refresh and you see more.
Yeah. And that's the thing about this show in particular. It's like The Bachelor it films, but they're outside already.
Mm-hmm.
And like they have time to watch it in real time. It's almost like we're thrown out in the real world and you kind of just have to figure it out. They have PR teams and stuff who could help you, but like you never know what to expect.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what was hard for me personally, being in this new light. I kind of retracted, and our season wasn't as nearly as big as this season, but I went into my shell, stopped talking to a lot of people just because I didn't know how to handle it. So that's one thing we did this year when we were in Fiji. We told all the Islanders, if you need something, if you need someone to talk to, reach out to us, because it could feel lonely. You have this new platform, but it's also very lonely. So
yeah. And when you walk out and you get your phone, I know that I'm Marco. That was the same kid from Youngstown, Ohio, running around and, you know, being all energetic. But when I walk out of the villa, I didn't know what I was. You have no idea.
yeah.
You know, am I still that Marco that people like adore? Am I genuine? Am I not genuine? So it's a big learning curve, and it took a lot on, I would say, Hannah mostly, because me, like I said, I'm like a fart in the wind. I just go. So I don't really get
It's true.
like intimidated by much or anything. So I was there for her and just like her support system, and we just turned out to be like, I guess, either the parents or grandparents now of Love Island. Like, so if anybody has any questions, we just try to reach out and just give them the best advice we can and how to be able to establish a beautiful relationship off such a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Did you guys notice like personal relationships change post when you guys got out? Like people like friends or anybody like looking at you differently or thinking of you differently, and you're like, wait, what is happening? Because that would be such a surreal thing for me.
We're at our family party, fresh off the show. This is our week landing in LA. I'm from Palm Springs.
Mm-hmm.
So we go to Palm Springs, big party. People I've known my whole life, family, friends are taking pictures of us. Teachers are taking pictures of us at the family party. And so that was the first wake-up call for me. I'm like, oh, things are different now. Because we went on this reality show and we were just ourselves, things are going to be different for us. So we really had to just depend on each other because we're the only people who know what it's like. You can't listen to anybody else, family, friends. That was something we went through too. Opinions of people who are close to us, it's different now.
Right. And I have my, like, the platform that we earned, and that's something that I take very serious. And just trying to be the best influence. So yeah, like I said, we had a lot of people, old friends in high school, college, old teammates that reached out to me. But you remember where you were when nobody was talking to you, then you remember where you are now. But the one thing that I always use is I will always use my platform to motivate people from where I'm from, because it's really hard. And that's what I just try to do. So if I see anybody, it's hard to obviously see everything, but if I see anybody who is from the area that I'm from and looking for motivation, I'm just always there to like answer it and help them out.
Oh, that's really sweet. And I also love that you guys said you're there to help out any Islanders who have come after you. Which Islanders from season 6 have reached out for advice, and what advice have you given them? I feel like a lot of people in season 6 need advice. Our girl Kaylor, she went through it. I know you had some hot takes about Aaron Marco, which I feel like all the fans were living for. Has he reached out for advice?
He's talked to me in person for advice. I had a one-on-one sit down with him, kind of in a side spot in the airport, and I just let him know how I felt. Obviously, everybody saw that. I don't want any surprise. My girl Kaylor is from Pittsburgh, and that's right where I'm from. We're about an hour away from each other, and so I just know that family, like that I don't know her family, but I know the type of family that she's grown up with, and I'm like, I knew it was hard on her, like everything that the mom saw, everything that the stepdad saw. So I was just always there for Kaylor, and I let him know that, like, you were wrong. This is not acceptable, but it doesn't mean you can't change anything, and that's kind of how we've looked forward. And then Kenny, I love Kenny. I've always loved Kenny.
Yeah.
And so Kenny has reached out to me, and I reached out to Kenny, and I just gave him advice that like I never received myself. What managements to go for? What do you want? What do you want? Do you want to be? He wants to be a gym guy, like kind of like aesthetic, sport clothing, young LA. And so I gave him advice on how to create your own LLC, so you write less on tax return instead of having it through your management who takes 20%, create your own LLC and then pay less at the end and get more. So
just stuff we had to learn.
All stuff that we had to learn with no help.
And yeah, we have a couple past Islanders. I remember Selly, we saw her at an event, and she was like,
same thing.
She was so genuine, and she was like, what's meant for you will come. She's like, the real people will weed themselves out. Because they're going through the same thing. People are doing podcasts, liking tweets, doing shady stuff on social media. Yeah. She's like, stay focused and it will all fall in line. So I took that to heart. And when we saw her in Fiji, I thanked her. So she's someone.
She is honestly the best. I don't know if did you see her recent TikTok where she was explaining the process of removing all the filler and sort of having this wake up call, like all the things that she thought she wanted after Love Island. She was like, you know what, it wasn't for me. Have you guys had any of those moments where you were sort of maybe excited for the fame and the fans, and then were you disillusioned by certain aspects of fame? Like, what parts do you not enjoy?
Great question. Yes. After the show, you're doing club appearances.
Mm-hmm. You're taking shots,
taking pictures, it's all a lot of stuff for the image. We really fell back for that, from that, because it's like we don't care about it anymore. But fresh off the show, you have like, oh my God, these people know me. Like, why not do this club appearance? And now it's like we hate the club. We don't want to. We want to be here with our golden doodle, living our lives, watching Netflix. So that was very attractive at first. And I
would definitely. I got kind of whenever there's success, obviously there's haters, right? And you could always say like, oh, you guys are the podcast guys. But to me, that kind of like hurt me. So a lot of times you're like, oh, there's Love Island boy. Like stuff like that is what threw me off. And I'm like kind of retracted. Like no one has ever just degraded me before they even met me. Like I was never like, they were never like, oh, there's a tall guy with tattoos and curly hair, maybe looks Italian. Like I've never ever had that happen to me. And now I just get labeled like, oh, there's Love Island boy. Or, oh, you're from Love Island? You're from Love Island? Like, what's your name? It's just a whole bunch of different ways that people want to interact with you. And I think throughout those tough times, we just welcomed God into our life, and we brought the relationship around God, and we just asked him to give us the words during tough times, and it's definitely helped us.
Yeah, and then every interaction we have, we want it to be genuine. That's the other thing. You could tell people are nervous. They want to talk to you. They want to take a picture. It's like, okay, we're regular people. We're always going to keep it real in interviews.
My electric bill is due the same day yours is.
Exactly.
I got a car payment.
Summer's hard, yes.
People.
Right. Yeah, so that's something we focus on, and I think that's kept us humble too.
Mm-hmm.
Surrounding ourselves too with people who know us and have known us our whole lives.
And with your guys' appreciation and kind of like retreating more to the normal aspects of life, is the idea of like going back to reality TV ever on a radar for you both? Like, would that be something you would want to be doing? Or are you kind of just like, we did it, we had our fun, now we're going to want to do our own thing?
You know what we're learning? We'd be open to it, but so for example, exclusive for you guys, we're moving to Pittsburgh.
Ooh.
That's where we've always wanted to have a family. We'll be downtown, and it's like a new start for us. So if we do a show, at least we have roots around family to kind of get us out of that bubble. Because here in South Florida, to be honest with you, it's hard to get out from that TV.
This South Florida is Love Island. This is like everybody is on Love Island in South Florida. And I am so scarred by it. I don't like the superficialness of it. And I feel like it's best to be grounded and be humble at all times. And we've had some amazing opportunities come our way. And we're fortunate enough to be able to make the move to a nice place in Pittsburgh where I do want to hopefully raise our family one day and build our dream house. So we're getting a little head start on that. And we're heading to Pittsburgh start of the month, September 1st. So
right around the corner. So we got boxes everywhere. You can't see it right now, but
oh, that's amazing. Congratulations. That's so exciting. It's honestly so amazing to see how quickly your relationship has progressed since, it's just been like over a year or something. And it's wonderful to see that you two are still together. Like, clearly the Love Island formula works, but after you leave the villa, like, you two have to put in the work. Like, to what do you attribute your success as a couple? And do you have any advice or words of wisdom to share with, Cordell and Serena or the other Islanders?
Yeah, of course. For me, honestly, I always wanted to be her outlet. So no matter what in our relationship, I felt that, like, if I could at least do two things, I could fail at everything else. If I could just provide for what I said I would, and if I could just love. So provide and love has, like, been able to allow me to welcome her in. She moved across the country. That's not easy to do for anybody. So provide and love is the two simple things I feel like every man should be able to accept and know when you are in a relationship. And I was able to fulfill that, and I'm very proud of myself. And then I really want to tell all the other guys, like, it's your job. It's time to, if you're welcoming somebody into your life, which I did, then you better, like, walk the walk. So
yeah, and you can't care about social media, all of this, headlines. Like, you really have to, communication is key. So every night we have these conversations, and of course at the beginning we would get so overwhelmed with everything, and it's hard. You take that out on each other sometimes, but with time we realize, okay, how to communicate with each other. And I think that's been the best thing for us. Like, block out the noise, focus on each other if you really want it to work. If that's your end goal, to be together, get married, whatever, uplift your life for each other, you're going to do whatever it takes to make it work.
And you got to find your balance. So whatever relationship is, there is a balance.
Yeah.
And she does amazing things. For me, she's made me feel love. I never felt love before. She's practically stole my dog. I mean, he doesn't even know who I am anymore. So
that's my dog.
And then all the other amazing things that she does, around the house. She takes stress off me. She helps, run errands. She works. Like, she does everything she can possibly do to help us grow as a partnership.
Well, I hope not even just Love Island couples, I hope all couples just listen to that, because that's amazing advice. And I feel like a beautiful place to end this, because we have to let you guys finish packing for your move.
Seriously.
Yes.
Sure do. I got 3 weeks to get it together, and we'll be in Pittsburgh, so stay tuned.
Yes. Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, seriously.
Where are you guys at, though?
We're in New York.
In New York. So anytime we're in New York, we'll text you. I want to see that studio. That's so
Please,
nice.
come
anytime. We would love to have you in.
Oh,
this has been one of my favorite interviews. This has been fun.
Oh, thank you. That means a lot. You're one of my favorite couples on the planet. So we appreciate you taking the time, and again, good luck with the move.
And give the dog some pets.
Yes.